Hi guys, I just thought I'd take you to my tomato bushes and show you the new experiment that I'm trying. These are the tomato bushes. I already had a lot of fruit out of them. They pretty much had died off, and then we suddenly had some new sprouts and a lot of new fruit coming on. Already covered some from the bugs. It does look like it's got a bit of disease happening though, so I might need to give it a bit of a spray today with some baking soda, see if that will help it. But what we're doing today is I'm finding nice new shoots, preferably ones that don't have flowers, or I might take the flowers off because I want to focus the energy of the plant on making roots. And I'm going to get some moss and wrap it around the roots and then wrap foil around that. So let's first find a good shoot. I don't want one that's too big because it will grow quite a lot while it's shooting. Now here we have one here. So you can see between this leaf coming out the side of the main stem, there's a shoot going off. Okay, this is what's going to be my new tomato plant. So first we're going to go and get some moss. So over here in a corner of our yard it gets quite wet, and we generally have moss growing here just next to the brick wall. So I just find a patch where I can scoop up quite a bit, get my fingers underneath it, it kind of stays in a bunch, and pull it off. So there's my moss free. Now if you don't have any wet patches in your yard, you can buy peat moss from the shops and use that. Okay, next we're going to wet the moss. I've got some water here, I'm just going to soak it in, let it absorb some water, and then we'll go back to the tomato plant. Okay, so here we have our stalk, and we take our wet moss. Take our wet moss and just wrap it around the bottom of that stalk, and then we're going to wrap it in foil. Now you want to wrap the foil tight around the plant, at the top and bottom especially, because you want all that moisture to stay in there. You don't want it to dribble out. I found with my last one that it ended up drying out. It still had roots in it, but I think next time I'll have to be a bit more careful to make sure I close it, especially after I've looked at it halfway through. Another version of this that I saw, which I'm going to try, is actually wrapping it in Glad Wrap and then putting the foil over top so that the Glad Wrap holds the moisture better. So now we leave it for a couple of weeks and we'll wait to see when the roots start to form. Here are the ones that I did earlier. I'm not sure how these will go. As I mentioned, the moss had dried out by the time I planted them here. This one here did still have some white fresh roots, so I think it should do okay. I actually buried it sideways so the stem goes along like that, because the stem was already kind of in that shape. I did it like that because all along the stem will grow more roots and you'll have a much stronger, healthier tomato plant as a result of all those roots. So that's that one. And this one here, I'm actually going to pick these flowers off because I want it to focus its energy on getting good roots again and growing up. Its roots had dried up. There was a couple of little ones, so it may do okay. But I'm going to plant a tomato plant with no roots on it, just into the dirt, just to compare it to how that does in comparison to these other two, to see which one works better. Now this one I'm burying the stem quite deep into the ground. I've cut off the bottom branch there, and I'm going to really bury it right deep into the ground so that it grows roots all the way along the stem there. And And now we just have to keep it well watered and see what happens. The advantage, I think, of doing it the other way is that while the roots are growing, the plant is still receiving nutrients and life from the parent stock, whereas this way, you know, there's no nutrients getting to the plant until it starts growing some roots, so it puts a bit more stress on it, but we'll see how it goes. So this one, I'm doing another one. This one here I have wrapped in the Glad Wrap, not very well. Not sure how it will go, but I'm going to wrap it now with foil. So there it is, wrapped in foil. So I've done a third one there as well, so I now have 3 new tomato clones that I'm starting, and we'll plant them out once they get started. Now I've also wound up all the tomato vines around these strings. Like that. And these ones at the back, I've left all the branches on because they're all bearing flowers, they all bear fruit, and I want to get as much tomato off these bushes as I can because it's all I have. So I've connected ones out to the fence to wind the tomato branches around as well to support them. So I've cut off all the dead and diseased branches. I did cut off a tomato here because it had bugs in it and it was already wormhole there, and it had been bent and was the stem was broken, so I just thought not to waste energy on it, cut it off, start again, and all this rubbish will go directly into the rubbish bin. It doesn't go into the compost because those diseases can then spread to the compost and other soil. So we'll go and chuck this away and we'll come back in a few weeks and see the result.